All right, so you want the inside scoop on Tesla's Q2 earnings, right? We're diving deep into their latest report today, breaking down all the numbers and what they really mean. Got your official update pulled up, and those equity AI insights, those are key too.
Absolutely. We're cutting through the jargon to see what's really going on at Tesla right now, and more importantly, where they're headed in the future.
So revenue first. Tesla's reporting $25.5 billion this quarter. A 2% bump year over year. Sounds okay on the surface.
Yeah, you got to dig a little deeper though, right? Automotive sales actually dipped 7% since last year.
So things aren't as rosy as they might seem at first glance, and that kind of reflects in the operating income as well. Down to $1.6 billion, which means a 6.3% margin.
Exactly. Significantly lower than what Tesla's been pulling off in the past. But before anyone hits the panic button, EquityAI points out their free cash flow is still positive, 1.3 billion to be exact. And that's always a good sign.
That's got to be somewhat reassuring for investors, even with the revenue dips.
It is. But here's the interesting part. They got to that 1.3 billion after dropping a cool 600 million on AI infrastructure. So they're clearly serious about this whole automation and AI thing.
It's a bold move, especially when their main car business is facing some challenges.
No doubt. And it tells you a lot about Tesla's strategy. They're thinking long term. This isn't just about selling a bunch of cars today. It's about building towards a future where AI and automation give them a serious competitive edge.
So how does that long game thinking play out in Tesla's actual, factories? Because Equity AI makes a big deal about the Cybertruck. They're saying it's the best-selling EV pickup in the U.S. already this quarter. But is that really what Tesla's saying too?
They are, yeah. The Cybertruck is definitely turning heads, even though they haven't even really ramped up production yet.
Yeah, gotta love the Tesla hype machine, right?
hmm
But gotta look at the numbers too. What's the reality check in the report?
Well, overall production is down compared to last year, 14% actually. They took a hit on the Model 3 and Model Y, those were down. But the Cybertruck, get this, production is up more than 300% this quarter.
300%.
It's serious.
That is a jump. They still think they're going to hit profitability by the end of the year on the Cybertruck with numbers like that?
That's the claim. And honestly, based on these numbers, it's possible. Could happen. This is Tesla playing the long game again, building the story. They don't even have to build as many Cybertrucks. The hype is doing a lot of the work.
It's like they're carefully balancing things, right? Drumming up excitement for the new stuff while they, I don't know, smooth things out with the Model 3 and the Y.
Precisely. And don't forget the other big piece of this puzzle, those 4,680 battery cells. Tesla says they're making a ton more of them, over 50% more than last quarter. That's where they're going to see real cost savings.
Okay, so now this is where it gets really interesting for me. They're making progress on the battery tech. They're ramping up production on the Cybertruck like it's nobody's business. They're strategically managing production on their other models. But Tesla's ambitions, they're way bigger than just cars, right? Equity AI, they were hinting at some pretty wild stuff with this Optimus thing and their whole Tesla energy side.
So let's talk robots. Did Optimus actually start working at Tesla?
Yeah, this isn't some sci-fi movie. It's really happening. Tesla says Optimus is now handling battery cells on its own in one of their factories.
Wait, a robot is building parts of other robots. Okay, that is straight out of the future. How big of a deal is this, really?
It's a first step, right? It's not taking over the whole factory yet. But symbolically, it's huge. Remember that $600 million they invested in AI infrastructure? Well, this is where some of that's going. So they're not messing around. This Optimus development, even if it's early days, it's a pretty powerful proof of concept. I mean, what does this tell you about where Tesla sees itself going in the future?
This is about more than just making cars, don't you see? They're trying to completely change the game. Manufacturing, transportation, maybe even work as we know it. And their energy business, that's a key part of it.
Right, because Equity AI mentioned record numbers for Tesla Energy this quarter. What's driving that?
They deployed 9.4 gigawatt hours of energy storage this quarter. That's their megapacks and their power walls. That's a ton of power. Tesla Energy is a real player in the renewable energy space now, and a profitable one at that.
So we're talking sustainable energy, AI robots. Tesla's got their hands in a lot of cookie jars. But looking forward now, what's the rest of the year? What's the future look like for Tesla? What's their crystal ball say?
Well, they're always a little tight-lipped about specific predictions, but they did say vehicle sales growth might be a little slower in 24 than it was in 23.
I bet investors didn't love hearing that. What's behind that?
Well, that slowdown with the Model 3 and Y production is definitely a factor, right? And the whole economy, inflation, interest rates, people aren't exactly rushing out to buy new cars right now.
Yeah, can't argue with that. So external factors adding some uncertainty. But Tesla's own internal goals, I mean, they want to be making 3 million cars a year by the middle of 25, right? That's still the plan.
That's what they're saying, yeah. Which means those new models they've got coming out, especially the more affordable ones, those have got to be a hit.
Yeah, speaking of those, what's the latest on those? They still on track for production early 25, like they said.
As of right now, yeah, early 25 is still the goal. But, this is interesting, they hinted that they're going to try a different approach to manufacturing with these new models, something they called a hybrid system, combining their new platform stuff with some of their existing production lines.
So trying to innovate, but keep costs down makes sense given, well, everything going on. Smart. But is it going to be enough to satisfy investors? They want results.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Look, Tesla's playing the long game here. Growth, innovation, building that whole ecosystem we talked about. That's the priority, not necessarily squeezing every last penny out of profits today.
Risky move. And speaking of risky moves, that little tidbit they dropped about their robo-taxi program, revolutionary unboxed manufacturing approach. Get everyone talking. What's that all about?
Brilliant, really. Just enough information to get people speculating. What does it mean? Are they totally reinventing how cars are built? Does this tie into the whole Optimus thing? No one knows. But it's exciting to think about.
Classic Tesla. Leave them wanting more. So there you have it. Tesla's Q2 2024 earnings report. Revenue dips, a whole lot of Cybertruck hype, robots building robots, and a booming energy business. It's clear Tesla's playing a different game. They're not just changing how cars are made. They're changing how we think about technology. And that's what makes this such a fascinating story. We'll be keeping a close eye on it, so make sure you're subscribed for all the latest deep dives.